you know, only 22 years old, and she comes through. She's just been stellar in how she dictates. She's also has an accurate pass in her, the confidence. She doesn't speak much. She just dictates and is able to say, let's keep it clean, let's keep it there. And her defenders compliment her when it comes to that as well. Today, she'll be tested against the most potent attack in the whole tournament. And it's the Chawinga sisters. And Kadzera is not there because she's another one that comes in. But she really has to step up even further than what she's done to the Stars.
I love the player that is currently in shot right now. Bihina, this is a player that made 12 saves across the 2 knockout matches and saved 3 penalties in that shootout against Morocco. She has been superb. And again, it's an unchanged starting 11. Coach Valentine really trusting this team.
Yeah, indeed. I think, you know, she's looking at that starting 11 saying, look, carry as much as you can, especially in the, you know, the stanzas of the match. But should she need anything from the bench, she still has lethal firepower at the bench. We can talk about Ongwene. You know, I think we were playing with her in 2010.
Yes.
There's someone that we are very proud of. At least she learned from us. You know, she's now one of
queens.
She's one of the captains that are there. I think Bella Rose as well. Very powerful in terms of how she runs. Very powerful whenever she takes on defenders, and she's also another, you know, element. If they Manga is not getting any ideas, Bella Rose can come in there. And it's not just them. I mean, Mendua on the wings as well, very a dribbling wizard, very speedy, and can also be able to pose a big threat for Malawi.
And I was quite impressed with Bella Rose as well, being able to take that penalty and convert it after being brought in. You're looking at a team that had 36% in terms of possession in their previous game. And something that is very important to note as well is their ability to defend and be compact, but also their resilience, Toki.
Yeah, because like we talk about the experience, and that's what WAFCON is about. Sometimes you really just have to suffer and endure. And I think today's game as well, or this evening's game, is not going to be any different, because Malawi is certainly going to try and run at Cameroon, and definitely they're going to have to cover spaces, they're going to have to shift. As compact as they are, there are going to be situations where the space is behind them, and therefore the speed of the centre backs is going to be important, the full backs as well, the likes of Viakana. I think they're going to be the ones that are going to be tested, the likes of Keith as well. So I do feel that there is a possibility for Cameroon to make sure that they really try and pursue their way through, all the way through.
Coach, do you see them playing more on the front foot against Malawi?
They take that chance.
Yeah.
They will see what it means to take that chance. They'll see if they made a good decision or not. And I'm saying this because the Chawinga sisters don't want 10 seconds. They just need 1 second, 2 seconds, and they run you down, they go, because they've got such individual brilliance in them. However, we saw how Cameroon stepped up in the second half against Morocco when they wanted that goal. And they were able to go to extra time, pushing as hard as they could. Like I say, the only challenge is that if they give space to Malawi, it means they have too much ground to cover, which means they have to run longer. And they already clocked in 120 minutes, because we know that with the 5 matches that they've played, it taxes you, because the return on recovery, that will cost a lot, you know. And Malawi has scored 68% of their goals in the last 30 minutes of the game, which means endurance, conditioning for you needs to be at the highest level. Play smart, play cohesively, and don't allow them time and space on the ball. Vala ipompi, close the tap that passes the ball to them, which means the defenders don't allow them to play with height and distance, because they bypass midfield, that is Malawi. Don't allow them to get the ball behind. Even when they have the ball on their feet, go in twos, 2 versus 1. Don't let them go against you 1v1, because the front 3 of Malawi gives you that. So today, I laughed because I know what it means to be playing against hard-running team. It's the DNA of Malawi. That's all they do. The whole 90 minutes, they'll run you down. They don't tire.
How do they keep the Chawinga sisters at bay? How do you make sure that you starve them off the ball, and when they do have the ball, you push them in areas where they're not comfortable?
I think I'm going to piggyback on what Coach Shoti has just said in terms of going in 2s and 3s. My only worry is how good are you at that 2s and 3s. I mean, we saw Algeria trying to do it, and one of their players eventually got a red card. But I think also they can also look at, you know, some of the players that they have. I think Chimzim is going to be very key today in terms of actually being that tap that allows for Utabitha as well as, Simwaka and Temwa to have some sort of play But other than that, I think, they try to play to their strength. That's all that they need to be doing, Malawi, because I don't think they are ball players. I think they are hard runners, as Shoti mentioned. And for Cameroon, good on transition, they will suffer. They will keep that low block, and when the time is right, they know who are their outlets. And maybe that is something that Malawi must also be wary of, because whenever they go forward, they try to, keep compact at all times. But there are some certain spaces that Cameroon will want to actually take advantage of.
With the suspension of Rose Kadzere, Leticia Chinyamula then comes in, helping them with regards to maybe that midfield battle, Doki.
Yeah, which is going to be tightly contested, and I think how it is that they keep their shape in that midfield is going to be important. In as much as I feel that they're probably going to try and bypass the midfield just to avoid that physicality, to try and exploit the spaces behind. So they're going to have to make sure that the second ball, they win the second ball, they're closest to the Chawinga sisters. And maybe just be patient in certain moments, because I think with the experience of Cameroon, they're probably going to try and set those offside traps, and therefore they're going to have to wait for the moments, try and not be offside. So it's definitely going to be one of those tactical battles in midfield to regain ball possession, but when you have it, just try to choose those moments, because you've got quality to finish up top.
The Chawinga sisters, between the both of them, 9 goals out of the 12 goals that Malawi has scored. When you talk about firepower up front, you're talking about them.
Absolutely. In the previous game, they had 6 big chances and they only scored 3. Technically, they're not the greatest. Maybe Tabitha is better because on the wing she has to bring in the crosses and supply a bit more. But Temwa, that's why she sits central, because she's closest to the goals. A couple of times I saw her drifting wide, trying to play the cross in. It's not as accurate. And even under pressure at times, you see the type of technique that she chooses. She just wants to terminate as quickly as possible, which means today she has to do exactly the same thing. And this is because she was sitting and pretending that nothing is happening, and then all of a sudden she comes acrobatic and she's able to score. I love the telepathy between the two of them, because Temwa stays central and she also looks at the offside line to say, I need to stay onside as much as I can.
They've scored a lot of goals, 12, but also conceded a lot of goals. 7 goals that they have conceded, Coach Dunga. That's something that they will need to pay attention to, ensuring that at least in this game they close that back door.
Yeah, the last time they actually got a clean sheet was against Angola in the qualifiers, and so for every match in this WAFCON they've opened at the back. So that also leaves a lot to be desired in terms of their defending. It's going to be a big one, and you've got a Manga that's looking maybe to bypass, and get that top goal scorer at the end of this match. So I think for them, they need to be very careful in terms of how they keep their compactness, Coach, in terms of how they are able to just ensure that they do the right things, especially when it comes to the principles. Sometimes when you want to take someone 1v1 and it's someone that is a dribbler, even if it means holding literally. But I think, it will be a key thing for Malawi to try at least do not allow yourselves to get scored, because then it means they have to now go double in terms of getting the goals.
Toki, irrespective of how you look at it, Malawi have honestly ticked all the boxes. They came into the tournament as debutants. They will leave the tournament having qualified for the FIFA Women's World Cup and leave either being runners-up or champions. Big achievement for Coach Lovemore.
Massive, massive achievement. Also considering just how it is that the COSAFA also plays such an instrumental role in making sure that the team stay ready, because you can imagine the likes of the Chawinga sisters coming back and the team is not at that same level. So I think the coaches as well should really take the credit. If there's the league that is consistently performing, they need to take the credit. Yeah, it's always just usually the coaches, and once again, his tactics are going to be tested against a Cameroon team who I think, like I say, so much more experience, and therefore it's a challenge for the coaches as well to grow. It's silverware at the end of the day, and certainly a certified spot at the World Cup, but also individual accolades, Lerato. I think the Chawinga sisters are putting their hands up for individual accolades just at FIFA level.
Can Malawi make Cameroon chase, Coach Dunga? When you look at the starting 11, do you think they can maybe deprive them of the ball?
Well, I think for Cameroon, who I think they're going to be keeping a low block, they'll be happy to not have the ball, but only have it in certain moments. But for a Malawi, for instance, they'll be looking at getting that early goal, just so that they can be able to settle into their attention. They never want to have the ball at the back, building up and trying to get out of those critical moments. So they want to Coach Shotiano Sotoki has mentioned, they like to bypass that midfield. So I think they will want to make the defense of Cameroon to come out of their own blocks in different ways. Maybe try to take them wide and play those crosses inside the box where maybe Tabitha will be waiting, or Chimzimu coming in as a late runner into that box. So I think for Malawi, critical that they actually get that first goal in order for them to feel confident in how they are attending this game.
And of course, a player that Coach Odludlu has spoken highly of